Over the past year, the FCC has taken steps to curtail the ability of manufacturers to release unlocked competing devices. This past December, there was a huge outpour of support during the FCC comment period, thanks to the quick action of dozens of groups, and in particular, a small handful of core individuals who brought the issue to the attention of the masses. I'd like to thank three people who were very active in the participation: Dave Tatt of Buffalo, Eric Schultz, and Joshua Gay at the Free Software Foundation. Unfortunately, the result was to no avail. FCC response was to ignore and do nothing more than make a few inconsequential changes to guidelines. The end result remains the same. We can't let this PR stunt be the end of the story. Unfortunately, the FCC has professional PR and we don't. This video is a perfect example. The media gobbled up the story the FCC gave as if it was all now well and done and routers would not be locked down. Well, it isn't, and that's not what's happening. While we knew the FCC pulled a PR stunt at the time, we could only theorize and point out a small number of devices to exemplify we were right. At the time, the rules hadn't come into effect yet. Now that some of the rules have come into force, we have many more compliant products on the market to evidence this effect. That is, they're all locked down. Manufacturers have competitors and market forces to contend with. The end result is any manufacturer who took the time to develop a workaround to be compliant would be put in a position of competitive disadvantage. In the real world, manufacturers take the cheapest and easiest way out, and that means lockdown. They don't even provide security updates in most cases to the routers we all depend on. And that means unless we can flash routers ourselves, we can't begin to be secure in our persons, places, and effects. A TP-Link rep has now clarified that not only are they locking down some of their routers as a result of the FCC's action, but they're locking down all future routers. We can't let this stand. And while we do have a plan of action, we don't have the details. But we know round two of this fight is going to require far more resources and energy than a few burnout volunteers can muster. That's why we are asking for your help. Our initial goal is to raise $110,000. This money will be used for taking action against the FCC. This may be a legal fight, it may be a political fight, it may be a combination, but it's a fight we can't afford to lose. If we lose it, every device will end up being locked down at some point. Is this a world you want to live in? It's not a world I want to live in, so please help us save Wi-Fi. Thanks.